Madam, vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Nice meeting you, madam. So, this is an interview in connection with the Chennai International Book Fair, 3rd edition. Meena Kandasamy is a very popular name in Tamil literature. So, you are a writer, translator, and multifaceted personality. So, recently, I am very much glad to read the Tirukkural translation, particularly the third part of the Tirukkural.
Yes,
that I am having this book also, the Book of Desire, published by Pen Queen. So I'll first of all congratulate you as the first female translator to translate the Kamathupal of Tirukkural.
Thank you, sir.
So because in my view, the most of the poems in the third part around there are 250 couplets. Most of the poems are in the point of view of women, but unfortunately we didn't have a female translator till now. So you have broken that field and ended it, but your interpretation is very unique, and you have brought both appreciation and some cultural comments from different people and different time. So how do you visualize your success as well as the negative comments that whether it affected you?
Yes, thank you, sir. So the thing is, Tirukkural is a very close text to me, and when I started learning this when I was really young, when I was about 12 or 13, because my appa is a Tamil Pulavar, so
Okay.
I used to learn it, like by memory actually.
Okay.
And it is the first Tamil text I read because I did not get the chance to read Tamil in school. So, my first
fine.
introduction to Tamil was through Tirukkural. And I would be able to say at that time, all the 1330 by memory, because that's how, we are trained. It's a big thing for parents. But I think I really took a great interest to know what it was that I was memorizing, what it was that was in the book. So, and because I learned the Tirukkural when I was 12 or 13,
Okay.
My first understanding of love is very closely connected to my understanding of the Kural.
Okay.
Because this was the first text I was reading about love itself.
Okay.
So so I always wanted, when the older I grew up, I always went back to, understanding or reflecting on what is happening in my life, and thinking, oh, Kural adu munadi irukke, like it's already written by Valluvar, because it was such a beautiful text. Like, you read so much, you write so much, but few things capture that, that essence of what the Tirukkural actually does. It's very subtle, it's very powerful, it's very moving, and at the same time there's so much space for women to articulate what they want, right? Like there's a woman, she can say, give up shame or give up desire, good heart, I cannot handle the two of them. And I think this is in a culture that where you cannot talk about love, you cannot talk about desire, when like in the most extreme form people are punished with honor killing, but in the normal form people are like padikra vayasla unakku idu like people always ask, like, why are you talking about love? You're supposed to study, you're supposed to earn, you're supposed to... So when we are so, I think, in so many multiple levels repressed, the Tirukkural I see is a text that actually liberates us, and I wanted to approach it from all of this framework, as a woman, as a Tamil, as a writer. And so for me it was a good thing. But I actually, when I was I never anticipated this level of criticism.
Okay.
I've been used to a lot of criticism, and I thought, somewhat naively, that because it's an important book for Tamil people, that everybody will really appreciate it. So, but then I actually went back and realized, because when I was researching the history, and I learned a lot about the Tirukkural by looking, when Veerammanivar translates, he's a Jesuit priest. And as a Jesuit priest, he cannot translate the Kamathupal.
Of course.
So when Pope starts translating, Pope has to find a reason. Why am I going to translate? How am I going to translate? So Pope goes back and says, Valluvar, how did Valluvar, who is such a great person, write about all this? Valluvar is writing about love. Definitely we can translate about love. We can translate about desire. So when Valluvar is doing, we can, and then he quotes actually from the Tirukkural. மனத்துக்கன் மாசிலனாதல் மற்றதற்கு நாகுல நீரபெற. And I think that is also the heart of it, like if your heart is there, your heart is in tune with the text, if you are really pure, it doesn't, everything else is sound and fury. And I think this is true for this criticism. It's true for activism. It's true for saying all the truth. It doesn't matter what noise surrounds us, as long as we are deeply convinced and deeply pure and true to ourselves, I think. So
very, very nice, rightly put it. So in this, apart from this Tirukural, actually you have given a very nice interpretation. So I am taking it as the reader's right. Nowadays we are talking about postmodernism and all. So a verse is a white verse and black verse. And sometimes we can interpret, we have the own interpretation. Nobody can, you cannot take the meaning like that. Even Valluvar cannot prevent us. That was the, and when a work is created, the author is dead. That becomes the part of the society. Society can interpret in its own way. So that is the liberty given to the readers. That is the reader's right is very popular. In that way, I am taking your interpretation. I will congratulate you for the whatever thing you have interpreted. We have also enjoyed it.
Thank you. But it's still not my interpretation. It's what Valluvar said.
Of course.
I'm not imposing. See, basically, I've done a lot of translations. So one of the things I realize is that, especially when you're a writer, you want to impose yourself, because what is a writer? A writer is a person who has very solid opinions on everything. So to restrain yourself, to pull yourself out of the way, and you have to let the writer, the original person shine.
Definitely.
And I think that way, I have only allowed what Valluvar would have said if he was writing in English. So
of course. Valluvar is a very progressive man. So whether we understood or not, how the reception from your foreign friends, how they appreciated this?
Oh, I think there is a new trend, I think, actually, in a lot of classic texts, for instance, whether it's Greek classic texts and all, that only now women have started translating them. So like these texts also have like thousands of years of history, and you don't have female translator for classic texts. So that is like getting a lot of attention. But the main attention about the Tirukural is that it is universal. That it does not, I mean, as much as it is, you can think about the Tamil universe, and when Valluvar was writing, it is a Tamil man writing to a Tamil woman. In that, but any Kural anywhere is, you don't need context. It's universal, right? You can go anywhere, and it speaks that language. It speaks that language of love. And so I think that's like the first, primary importance. So anybody, anywhere, it resonates with people. And in that sense, it's so ancient, but it's also so modern and contemporary. Like it does not age a day, right? And the second thing I think that's very beautiful, and what everybody connected is also like, part of it is everybody's just texting everybody, like we're talking to people on text. And the format of the Quran, it's not like a 1,000-page book. It's not like you have to read a long story to understand. It's something like you can just text. It's like a tweet. You can literally take a photo, literally send these, words to your friends. So it's that. But the most important thing, and here's where I really used to like, when I did these public readings, there are two aspects that really stood out, and the first is the way the lovers quarrel. The way she's quarreling, like who are you thinking about? Why? All the sulking. I think that makes people laugh all the time. And also the other thing is that sometimes you're like, if Gen Z, today's generation, they'll be like, this is toxic, man. This is toxic, bro. But it's not. I mean, there is so much beauty in that, like this little moment of this back and forth quarrel. That kind of brings them closer together, and I think that's a very specific Tamil thing that Valluvar captures, but also is there. And the second thing I think that everybody really liked it also was the way women talk about their own shame, and it's like the way they say, my lust is a raging sea, like kama so it's like they talk about it and they don't know, like, and that expression of desire to realize that, because the problem with colonialism is that they're always looking at us as repressed people, as people without culture, as people without civilization, as people who are not equal. And they think that women in the new colonial world, in the third world, they think we need to be saved. But when they look at a text like that from 2,000 years ago and realize that women could talk like this, women could say these things, and they could exist in this, and I think it's a big culture shock. And then they realize that you can really feel that recalibration happening in that room, and I think that's so important,
Okay.
So yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So you might have get a good reception from your foreign friends.
No, I get good reception from Indian friends also.
You have taken the Tirukkural to the world, particularly Kamatupal as a women translator, the present generation. That was the success of this book.
Thank you.
That's
Sir.
what I meant. Another third question, madam, for you. That is my last question to you.
Okay.
So you are having a high social responsibility, and you are coming from a family which has deeply read the Periyarism and Periyar thoughts. Your father and mother, they have inculcated those kind of thinking in you. So in that, how it affects your literature? So particularly Dravidian thoughts, Periyar thoughts, that we are seeing in your definitely whatever the way we are brought up, that will influence the literature, our vision. So in that, apart from this book, in your other writings,
in my other writing,
how it influences.
So actually, my father, for instance, is a first generation learner. He was the first person in his village to finish school, high school, college, university, everything. And my mother was also born in a family of 10 children, and she was the third. So both of them, for them it was a little bit of a struggle to come to where they came in their life, and I think they really that kind of growth would not be possible if Periyarism was not in this land. So, and I think that's really affected me in many multiple hundreds of ways actually, because when we are young, we never say that, right? Like, we always think we are our own creation. We don't think so much about how our parents' life actually influenced it. But now, as a mother myself, I see their, how their life in multiple ways affect me, especially, the struggle, for instance, that Periyar really exemplified. And what Periyar was trying to do was, you can put it in thousands of ways, people can, but I think as a writer today, we lived in a society where 5,000 years, 3,000 years, whatever you want to say, but that, let us say, in a in a society where caste has become entrenched. We don't know about, in a society where there was no caste, but after caste system came, after all this hierarchy came, two sections of people cannot have the claim to become intellectuals, right? One of that is people who are born in the lower caste, Shudras, as Periyar would say, as the books would say, and the other class of people are women. And what I realized is that was what Periyar was, fighting for, not just, representation, all of these other thousands of things, but also just for the idea that, you could be a woman, you could belong to a lower caste, and you could say, I have an idea, I have to say something, you have to take me seriously. And how did that space open up? How did that space within intellectual discourse open up? Because until that moment, only one section of people, only the men of that section of people were seen as, capable of thought. And I think that, to be able to get there, to say these things, I mean, that's a phenomenal rupture. That's a rupture to society to say, okay, a woman can be an intellectual, a woman from a lower community can be, have ideas, because that's what changes the world, right? Like, at the heart of it, ideas change the world. Like, and how is it, and that is where I think, Periyarism really comes into the forefront, because it alters your perception, it alters your, he called it self-respect, right? And not for no reason. That today we have countries fighting for self-determination, like, we want to be a country, we want to be taken seriously, we want autonomy, but that's what he was fighting for, that we have the right to decide what we do. So
very nice. You have
expressed
your things for how the Periyar influenced you.
And also my influence was, sometimes with Periyar, actually, it's one place where, like, I got the chance, and I'm really incredibly lucky that I got to pay back some of this gift. Like, Kural was like, my father's gift to me, and I could, the fact that I write in English, give it back. And with Periyar, again, I got to work with his writings. So I translated Penne Nadimayanal, and for me, it was phenomenal, because you say, like,
you may not be knowing, Tamil Nadu Textbook Corporation has brought out this book translated by into 21 languages.
Oh, lovely. I'm not aware, but this is great, So the thing is that one of those, I lived abroad, right? you go to Ireland and they were legislating for abortion rights, until the 2020s, right?
Yes.
It's a big issue. Today, we're talking about Trump coming to America. It's a big issue. Like the first thing he's going to do is going to talk about abortion. He's going to take away women's right to decide about, their own pregnancies. But then you go back to Periyar, 100 years ago, literally 100 years ago, literally here in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, saying, the burden of pregnancy has to end for women to be liberated, talking about birth control in the 1920s. I mean, how far ahead he tried to move us, and I mean, like, we have immense responsibility on ourselves, I think, to take it forward. So, yeah.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Rightly put it. The last year you have awarded by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, you have awarded the book fair last year or
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
2 years
okay.
ago, yeah.
So you have got so many awards. What is your feeling when you are getting award from Tamil Nadu?
Oh yeah. No, actually, I got a pen German award as well, and other writing things. It was really a very special moment for me. Because I had lived abroad for a long time, I'm coming back, and I came back during the pandemic, and it was great. But actually, I have to tell you some anecdote, right? Like, so the anecdote is that I was late to my own award function.
Yes, I was there.
I was very late because I had 2 children, like, and they were delaying everywhere, and they were crying in the car. So I literally had to run. So I missed the final award.
Yes.
And then the CM, for some reason decided to give me the award specially.
We were there at that time.
Yeah, and I was so happy. And like, of course, I was brought
Some
up.
Some people were that how arrogant that author was.
But they say no, it's not arrogance. Actually, I was so late. That's motherhood. That's not arrogance.
I was in the meeting. Some people.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Who was that author?
I am
when CM is giving the award, he's so late to the function.
No, it was not at all like that. And this is the thing. Like, I'm partly, as I said, Periyar is culture, but I also had this, like today also, if I see my parents, I fall in their feet, like
yes,
on my mother's
definitely.
feet, wherever I see them, even in the middle of the road, if my father is coming to give me some document and go also, like I fall in Appa's feet, Amma's feet, like it's my part of my
that anecdote surprised to most of the audience.
So
rather
it is
than
my
you.
behavior. So it is like, how I was brought up as a child.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that I actually went to fall in his feet, and the CM was like, obviously, like he said, no, you shouldn't fall in anyone's feet, and that was very sweet.
Yes.
But I think that became also viral,
that became surprised that actually
she was first he said I was arrogant, and then they were like,
then when CM was giving you, the people got surprised. You might have got surprised. The same people also, even the writer is coming late, the CM will be ready to give the award. What kind of gesture it was.
Sam was very kind, and
he
also
appreciated that.
He prevented me from falling in his feet, and he said, no, you shouldn't.
Yes.
So it was very beautiful. Yeah.
Nice occasion. Okay, madam. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Okay.
Thank you.
Madam. Okay.